Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe Divine Neutrals palette. I know this is not a new palette. I bought this palette actually when it first launched, and I've been having this sitting in my drawer since forever ago, and I just finally getting to this review right now. I'm gonna be talking about the palette. I'm gonna be doing some swatches for you guys. I'm gonna do an eye look with it. And this is also a first impressions video, so I'm kind of excited to try this palette out. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, take one quick minute to subscribe down below. Do like the video if you do like it, and let's go ahead and just jump on into it. So this is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Divine's Neutrals eyeshadow palette. It is a beautiful, warm tone, all about neutral colors. And honestly, I'm literally living here for all of these colors. The palette retails for $18. It has 12 eyeshadows. 6 of them are velvety mattes and 6 of them are gilded shimmers. Ooh. If this palette is anything like the Volume 1 Jaclyn Hill x Morphe or Volume 2, I'm so stoked. I have seen a couple of reviews on this in the past, but I have not tried this palette out at all. I have not even opened this palette. So let's get into it. Let's open her up and let's see what is in here. So this is the packaging. It's very, very beautiful, neutral, gorgeous packaging. It has her name here in gold. In the back, it has a nice little quote here. It says, "You know I love a neutral moment. Whether it's a minimal look or a full smoky eye, this palette offers all the shades you need to create your perfect nude mood." I hope you love it as much as I do. What I love about this palette is that it's smaller than the original, like the bigger size palettes that she has. It's my first time opening. I'm so ooh, looks. I just love when you open a new palette. It's the palette right here, and I'm sure you've already seen this many times before. Very similar to her other palettes, like the same kind of packaging, very lightweight, so really cute just to throw in your purse. So I really appreciate that it's a small palette, doesn't weigh too much. This is a nice little film, and there is the palette right here for you guys. Look at those shimmers and those mattes. Oh my gosh, this color story is everything. It's everything, right? It comes with a nice little mirror, and I mean, you guys, the packaging for this whole palette is just so beautiful, so sleek. I love the nude mood moment, and I just love the gold here. The top row is the velvety mattes, and then the bottom row are the gilded shimmers. The only thing I feel like this palette is missing is a black eyeshadow, but it's still okay. It's totally fine. Like, you really need a black eyeshadow. We have a ton, don't we? Let's go ahead and let's get into some swatches before I apply this on my eyes, and let's go. This side is the matte side. The colors didn't swatch the best, not the best swatcher. I'm officially the worst swatcher ever, just so you know. And then, of course, these swatch so much more beautifully. Of course, shimmers are always going to, you know, usually swatch a little bit better. So yeah, that was an epic little fail moment there. So I'm gonna start with my transition area, and I'm gonna start with the color here called Just Barely. There is a little bit of kickback, but that's totally fine. The moment you dip it in, it seems very, very creamy, and yeah, a little bit of kickback, not too much, not too terrible. Woo. Start buffing that color into my crease. Not a lot of pigment is coming out, not a lot of pigment here. So I'm gonna go in with the color Good Vibes, this one right here. It is a beautiful, a deeper matte chocolatey brown, but it's still really nice for a transition shade. Dip my brush in. Like I said, not a lot of kickback again. The moment you dip it in, very, very buttery, very smooth. Just gonna lay that color right on top of that. And as you can see, look how beautiful that is looking already. It's like a perfect transition shade. Right in here. And honestly, you guys, like, this is very, very easy to blend. That was effortless. I feel like I didn't have to do much to achieve that, so that's great. So far, so good, so buttery. I'm gonna go into the fourth color, so it's basically going in order. And the fourth color is called Boo Bear. So I'm gonna go into that one. That one is definitely a little more deeper, more richy, chocolatey, with a little bit of like a deeper red undertone. And for this one, I'm gonna take a more precise brush, Morphe M433. It's dirty, but it's okay. We'll get through it. So we're just gonna dip into that. Very little bit of kickback. Do a little circular motion here and bring that color halfway in. Let's go ahead and just add another little bit of that. Keep that color right on the outer edge. And I'm gonna stamp it like in small stamping motions. This color is not my favorite consistency. It just seems a tiny bit chalky. I wish it was as smooth as the other two colors, but it's still very pretty. We're gonna do the same thing. So we're just gonna kind of bring this color in, meet it halfway through the eye. I'm just gonna go like small circular motion, and I'm gonna go back into the color Good Vibes. So we're gonna bring that color right around the edges of that. Very nice, softly. And this color is very buttery and super easy to use. Let's add a little bit more warmth to this, to my outer corner. So I'm gonna go in with the color Booked. Chocolatey, definitely more warm toned. Very nice, very well pigmented. It is not a lot of kickback. I feel like the formula is spot on. Let's just go ahead and start applying that color right here. Let's bring that color like all the way in. Let's go into the other eye, and we're just bringing that color in. Very nice. Oh, these colors blend amazingly, guys. This is really blending in beautifully. Very nice, chocolatey, smoky. Then lastly, I'm gonna go into the darkest shade because I really wanna test out these colors, and I just wanna be a smoky festivity up in here. So let's go into the color Cinnamon Roll, this darkest color in the palette. This is a true brown, like dookie brown. That's what it is. The Morphe M433, and let's try it out. Gorgeous pigmentation, no fallout really at all. And yeah, let's go in with that color. And we're gonna keep this very close to the outer edge. Smoke that color. This is really just gonna give that smoky vibe to the whole thing. If you can see my eyes, I have not received any fallout at all. Bring that color and keep that in the outer edge. Gorgeous color, gorgeous. Wow. Let's dig into this color right here. This one is called Birthday Suit. This is a true coppery shimmer. It says I'm gonna apply this with my fingers on one hand and then a brush on the other. I'm gonna try it with a dry brush first because most of us usually use it with a wet brush, but let's try it out with a dry brush just to see what the hell this color has to offer. And if it doesn't, it's okay. You can always spritz your brush with something, you know, Fix Plus, whatever you got, and it's gonna ultimately bring out the shine even more. But let's try it out with a dry brush just because I really wanna test out this palette. I did a few little swipes and looks, you know, some color came out. Okay, it's not bad. So there is some color. Obviously not as much color as we anticipated, but no worries. Still enough. You can always apply more. Mind you, this is with a dry brush. Okay. Not bad at all. There is actually pigment to it. That's how you really can test out a color. When you could tell it's well formulated. If you use a dry brush and it comes out, you know, decent, it's well formulated. Let's just apply. You can see the difference now. Once we apply it with our fingers, it's really gonna show up much nicer. But oh, this shimmer is really beautiful. No fallout at all whatsoever. Very nice and metallic. I applied a second layer. I really wanna get into the inner corner. So what I'm gonna do is take a brush and wet it. Get some setting spray on that brush. I really just want to get into the inner corner here. Stunning. I want to, like, you know, it's hard to get into those corners here with your fingers unless you have, you know, some tiny fingers. But so the color Drippin', it's another gold tone but more green toned. So let's just go with it. Let's just add that one on the eyelids too. Why not? This color right over top of that. And as you can see, it adds a slightly more green toned vibe to it. That shimmer is really nice and on point. It's giving me some Cleopatra vibes up in here. Love a good shimmer shade on the lid. I'm gonna go into the color Striptease. This one here is a little bit more darker, and I am gonna be applying this on my lid, but just more close to the outer edge. Let me just use my fingertips. So I'm gonna dig into my fingertips, and I'm gonna bring that color just on the outer corner. This is stunning, you guys. And then lastly, I'm gonna go into the color Express, this gorgeous darker shimmer shade here. Gonna keep that on the outer edge. Bringing it halfway through. just want to really get that color in there and pack it. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, pack it? Adding just a little bit more of Pooh Bear. So I'm going to go in with a flat brush like this. I'm going to go into the darkest chocolatey color called Cinnamon Roll, this color here. And I'm going to use this to line my bottom lash line. This could be used as an eyeliner. It's so nice. Very, very nice and easy to use. Keep it very, very close to the lash line. I'm going to take a pencil brush, a little fluffy brush like this. We are going to go into the color Pooh Bear, this one here. And we're just going to go right underneath that just to smoke it out a little bit. I'm going to go right underneath that. And that's just going to give a really nice chocolatey vibe to the whole thing. As you can see, it's really, really nice. I go back into the color Good Vibes, this one here. This is going to be the cherry on top of everything. Grab this much. And what we're going to do, we're just going to smoke out everything underneath so it matches the top part. You know, you got this little thing going on here. Make sure it's nice and smoky and it's just, you know, all is nice and connected. And then as his last step, I almost forgot, is my inner corner. So I am going to wet my brush for my inner corners. And I am going to be using this color, this gorgeous, it's like a very baby doll pink. Corners. Okay, this color is not super pigmented. I mean, it's still very nice, but maybe it's just me. I wonder if it's the brush. You really have to build this one up. Let's try another brush. Okay, it was probably just the brush because now I see the color really coming through. That's always really nice. Okay. I was trash talking it for no reason. It was just the brush that I was using was too dense. So if you go in with like a smaller brush like this, you're good. I'm gonna finish my eye look and I'll be right back for my final thoughts. So overall, this palette is a gorgeous palette. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 because there was just a few literally that one shimmer shade that wasn't as pigmented as I wanted it to be. But overall, this is a stunning palette. This is my completed eye look. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you like it. You know, ingest in the gold. So yeah, I really love this palette. I love the colors, how beautifully formulated and how beautifully pigmented they are. And I feel like this palette was just so incredibly easy to use. By far, one of the most easiest to use palettes that I've owned. It's probably gonna ends up being the palette I'm gonna be taking with me if I go traveling. Well, if you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys enjoyed the review, please leave a comment down below. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.